Good morning. It's still morning. Today is first day of summer, June 21st, 2026. So I'm repeating a place that I've been earlier about 2 months ago. Basically because I didn't feel like driving too much further. So here I am at this famous place in Cory, as I call it. See, Coriopolis, PA. And we're going to go down through this grass. Probably not a great idea, but we're doing it anyway. Coriopolis. Now, which way am I going to go? Part of me wants to go up here towards the mile zero mark, and that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to go back to the other branch. We'll see what happens, as they say. This is okay to walk through here. It's not too bad. I mean, if this grass was as tall as it is on the left here, I probably wouldn't be coming through this. All right. So now we're technically on the trail, Montour trail. We're approaching mile zero. Whew. Smell that fumes, diesel fumes. A little station over here. There's a place that I've never been, is that little park over there, across the water. Over there in Groveton, there's a picnic bench and stuff. I've never been over there. Alright, so this is underneath Coriopolis Road, Route 51. Hi. Okay, so we are at the official start of the trail, mile zero. Then there's the 0.8 negative down into Coriopolis, the Coriopolis branch. This is the official starting point, mile zero. I've been here a bunch of times. I'm going to go up this way for a while. Last time I was here, I parked at the that sports complex, and one time I went in this direction all the way up to Hassan Road, and the next time, I think it was the next day, I came back and went to the other direction on the Cory branch. Those were in early April of this year. Man, time flies. It's already June 21st. Hard to believe. That time keeps on moving. Here's somebody down there. Oh, there's people down there fishing. I'm not going to go up here too far. So if I went on the Cory branch right now, it'd be too quick. I mean, it's only like 0.8 miles. It'd be a total 1.6. So what I'm going to do is go down here for a while, or go up here for a while, go up here. Just go up here for a while and then turn around and come back and then get down on the Cory branch. Hi. We just turned to this little paved section. This doesn't last too long. The pavement, it's nice though. You know, when I came here in early April, hardly any leaves on the trees yet. Now it's full blown. Let those people go a little bit. I don't like having people on my video, like right when I'm walking and they're right in front of me like that on my body cam. I just don't like it. This is a really nice place right here. Kind of spooky. In fact, the last time when I did the Cory branch, I went on that unofficial pathway that goes down into Groveton. That was kind of weird. It's right there at the sports complex. There's a branch that goes down, crosses a bridge and goes towards Groveton. It's not part of the trail, it's unofficial. No signs around there that say no trespassing though, so I don't think I'm going to go on that today. I just go on the official branch. Alright, so this is the place that over the last few years when I've been coming here, all there was like a little tiny path through here, and you could really hardly see that water. This is all overgrown. Now it's cut out, leveled off, so you can see the water real easy. Feel a sneeze coming on. Damn. It's that old time fence that I like when it's seen better days. Still serves its purpose though. So I'm using that new battery in the body cam I put in the other day. It's working great. The other one was working great too until it stopped. It would charge to 100%, but then after a few days, I guess it just lost all its charge. I noticed when I was walking, I would lose it would go down to close to zero, sooner than it used to. So it needed to be upgraded. Hi. I think I'll go up to that signal sign and the plaques and the Y, whatever that is up there. Yard limit sign and the signal. Now here's a path down to the water. I wonder what they're doing down here. There's always a lot of maintenance that needs to be done down here. With the rain, it washes things out. Hi. Feels pretty cool out here. It's not cool. I mean, it's not low humidity is what I mean. It's getting to be 80 degrees today. Alright, signal tower, yard limit sign. We've seen this a bunch of times. Also break out the other alternate camera here for the alternate video shots. How many videos have I taken here? Lots. Alright, yard limit. There's that signal tower. It's one of those signal tower, or signal towers, down on the Gap Trail too. Selfie mode. Alright, there we go. Yard limit sign right there. Right there. Alright, so I'm going 0.66 miles, which is fine. Well, it is what it is, whether it's fine or not. Alright, so we're going to go back, since I don't feel like going too much further up this direction. I have to do some nose blowing activity right now. Damn. Lots of trouble with allergies this season. Noise alert. Yeah. Alright, so 0.66. So when you get back to where the car was, you're going to be at 1.3 roughly. But then we're going to go down the other direction on the Cory branch. Come back on that. Here's where you see a lot of airplanes flying over. I hear an airplane, but I don't see it yet. This valley plays tricks with your hearing because stuff bounces off those walls over there. Remember that one time last year, the wind was blowing through here and it was howling when it bounced off those walls there, the rocks. Then to top it off, there were people over here shooting at the shooting range. So it was kind of a noisy time. Today's pretty calm, quiet. So there's that pathway, which we're not going to go on. It goes down to the water. Don't want to get muddy. Now I hear music or something. that's deceiving where that's coming from. I think it's coming from the top of that hill up there. There's a school, church, and stuff. Hi.
Now do I call them out on it? Yeah. After 30 plus years of life. Right.
Yeah, because you go down in towards Coriopolis and then you go up on Montour Street and it goes up on the top of that hill. That's where those buildings are. There's like a church, a school, or whatever, apartment buildings, etc. When you get to the very top, plus there's all kind of homes when you get all the way up to that point. Somebody coming back this way. Somebody on a bike. That girl on that bike way ahead there, she was on a phone, holding her phone, riding a bike, holding the phone like that. That's crazy. Possibly an iPhone 17 Pro, maybe, because she had an orange. Hi. See, I got me. 17 Pro Max. It was new, brand spanking new in September of 25, and now it's like what, more than 6 months old. Step there and it's kind of like a little drop off. There's a little depression in the trail there, little drop off. But things look so much different with all these leaves. Feel the humidity coming from here. Water's right down there. There's all these leaves right here. It's real warm. There's the water. Muddy footprints coming from there. Here's the wall of rocks. This little canyon right through here. You get your rocks on either side. It's cool. So I'm finally repeating some of the sections of the Montour Trail this year. You know, we're talking about this year, 2026. So far I had not repeated, any sections of the trail, but you're starting to run out of places to go where you won't repeat. So, plus this place is close to where I live, so I don't have to drive too far. kind of bees flying around my head. Yikes. Hate that. So when you come to this trailhead, when you turn into it off of Coriopolis Road, it's a real tricky turn, and it's a rough road. I was just at Boggs the other day, and it's like way worse than Boggs entrance. Boggs is nice and smooth if you want to think about it, but this one's like probably like 120 degree turn as you're heading towards Coriopolis. 130 degree turn. Danger, shooting range, no trespassing. That's okay, I'm not going to try to go down there. So naturally, last couple times I've been here, I've been parking at the sports complex, which is completely legal. No problem. I wish I would have thought about that sooner. Over the last, say 3 years that I've been coming down here, I always came down and parked at this trailhead, and I hated coming here for that reason, that it's a kind of a rough road. Well, it's really busy. Look at all the cars. Right now it turns into crushed limestone again. There's the water. Nice little pavilion right there. There's a lot of trucks on that road for sure. Coriopolis Road. Very, very busy road. Might as well go ahead and take some. I don't even bother taking extra photos of this. I've seen it so many times. That sign is like really dirty. Let's go on this side. Alright, so there's that. And we are at mile 0. Yeah, and then there's mile 0 marker there. And there's a sign here. As if we need to have this, but we're doing it anyway. There's Coriopolis Road up there. something over there. Let's get a selfie of this. There's that sign. And there's that sign. This way, huh? So as I always point out, we're in negative territory right now. Because Mount Zero is back there. But this is 0.8. A 0.8 branch. Minus 0.8 branch. No trespassing, authorized personnel only. There's that little station over there. Little power station, pumping station. Diesel fumes down here will kill you. One of the key things about coming here was, firstly, it's close to where I live, but secondly, I looked at the parking lot as I drove to it, and I'm like, okay, usually this gets really, really busy on the weekends. But it was okay, so I thought, okay, let's do it. Now here comes a little paved part again, which will last until you get down to the building. There's a parking lot. Looking for my car, I don't see it. Hope it's still there. Yeah, there it is. Straight across. Coriopolis Road. My vehicle's backed in there. Oh yeah. That time in early April, I came here on I think it was a Thursday. I'm thinking like around April 9th or 10th and or 10th. I came here on the one day, went down towards Hassan, and came back the next day, the very next day, and went down in this direction towards the on the Cory branch. It's unbelievable. It's almost 3 months. It's not quite. I mean, it's more than 2.5 months ago. Well, today's the first day of summer, the longest day of the year, June 21st, 2026. I get me some Wawa. So earlier this year they had finished putting the surface down on this crushed limestone surface down all the way to the end of the branch. Previous years it wasn't that way. It was just kind of rough, and some parts were like gravel. Other parts had, like coal color, charcoal colored slag dump stuff. But they finished that, but they didn't finish the signs. That's the key thing. Now, last time I was here, I went down this way. I'm just going to walk on the entrance. I'm not going to go on to it because I don't really feel like doing that again. I'll walk on this little bridge. This is an unofficial secret branch. I like it here. I like to see the water right here. That's pretty cool. There's a little dam built up here, little rocks and it almost looks too perfect right there, right on the end. I wonder if some of the workers, Montour trail workers, put that, trying to divert the water to go over in that direction. Who knows? It almost looks too good to be true that that's naturally occurred. Mother Nature does some strange things. There's that section over there with the backflow, little circulation going on in the corner. This looks a lot different than it did in April. That water right there looks really clear. I wonder if you can see any fish in there. That is crystal clear. Alright, whatever. There's that direction. There's the water. So I did this in April. I went all the way to the end of this unofficial branch. And I don't know, man, there's like some homeless camp there or something, and so I don't think I want to do that again. Plus, it's probably overgrown with brush way more than it would have been in April. I just don't feel like doing that. It's an unofficial path anyway, so. Funny thing is, they don't have any signs over here. You know, some places you go, there's like overkill with the signs. No trespassing, all that. Here, there's absolutely nothing. Now, this gravel kind of thing right here is the way this used to be. Alright, so we got smooth sailing all the way down to the end of the branch. Here's the first sign, an official mile marker sign for the C-1/4, the Cory branch. That's been here for a long time. C-1/4 Cory branch. We'll see if there's any changes. You know, when I come here in the past, there'd always be a little tiny change from time to time. When, you know, sometimes you'd see a guy working here. Another time you'd see that they had put these ballards in because they weren't here originally. So you could actually drive your car all the way down here. I saw people doing that. Now they finally have the crushed limestone here all the way down. We'll see if there's anything else that's different since April. I doubt it. most of their efforts are directed towards, you know, heavy projects and expensive projects like National Tunnel refurbishing. In fact, the other day, what day was it? Anyway, yeah, Friday. No, wait, Thursday. I can't remember the days now. Today's Sunday, so it was Friday. I was on Montour Trail at Boggs, and I commented on that. The place looked like a mess. Nothing was kept up. It was just a nightmare. They didn't even cut the grass on the sides or anything. This part used to be not as rough as that gravel that was back there on that other side thing, but it was not too smooth. It was kind of rough to walk on. You'd hurt your muscles. Well, you'd exercise different muscles than you normally do with uneven surfaces like that. This is great now. It's all crushed limestone, smooth. Well, smooth as it can be. This area over here really cracks me up. This has been like this for the last couple of years that I've been coming here. It's a little dumping ground, extra equipment, piles of dirt and rocks. There's these trailers here. There's that pipeline, and I see they didn't clear that out yet. Last time I was here, I said somebody should clean that out. All that debris. Let's get a shot of that. There's that pipeline, and there's all that logs and log jam kind of thing right there. Wow, lots of logs. The last time when I was here, I was looking over there. There was I can't see it now because of the growth, but there was a little skull or something somebody made, like a Halloween kind of thing. It was right over in there somewhere. I mean, it might still be there, but I can't really tell. I don't know where the heck that was, over in there. Now see, that's starting to get overgrown in there. I'm not going to go over there anymore. In April I did it. It was fine. There was nothing here. Now there's a lot of growth. That skull was over here. It was easily seen without all these leaves everywhere. Can't see it now though. Wow, that's overgrown. The big thing these days is ticks. Stuff that you never cared about or even heard about when you were a kid. I don't think I ever heard about that. You know, I might have, but never really thought about it. You're a kid, you just run around in the fields. First time I heard about ticks was probably, what am I going to say, back in the 1990s or something, when they would say don't feed the deer. Like, you'd go to certain parks and there'd be things like don't feed the deer, and you're asking people like, why not? You know, what's the problem? They're like, well, they got ticks, and you can get Lyme disease, etc., etc. That's the first time I ever heard of that stuff, probably back in the 90s. But now, everywhere you go, you hear about ticks. You hear about, there's more ticks now than there were before. The tick population is growing. When you listen to that, it's kind of scary. So you don't want to get it. You don't want to get ticks on you. I mean, some of it might be hyped, but nevertheless, you don't want to get it. See, I got the crushed limestone. See this? I'll show you with a video, an alternate video. There's your crushed limestone. But then right here, this kind of stuff. It's like coal colored gravel, like slag dump kind of stuff. That was the way this surface used to be. And it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't too great either, because those uneven surfaces, you get some sore muscles on the sides and your hip area. You're not used to walking on uneven surfaces like me. Well, it's humid down here. So there's an unofficial path that goes over there to the right. Last time I was here, I went down on one of these side branches. Well, this is kind of messed up here. So I'm going to bet that they didn't put any more of those mile marker signs up. They're missing a C-1/2 and a C-3/4. They've always had that C-1/4 back there. They should be coming up on a C-1/2, and they didn't have it last time. Or at the end, they got a post on at the end where it would be like a, there would be like a 7 or a 3/4, 0.75. There would be a 3/4 marker, but there was a post, but there was nothing on it. No signs on the post. This is a little spooky right in here. And you see, this is getting a little washed out. There's a little mud in front of me there. And there's the older surface, the coal, dirt, slag dump stuff. Constantly seeing these signs, these little, what are these things? Somebody put in, they're nailed. I don't know what these things are. Let's see. These are little markers that are nailed in. Right there. They're all along here. I guess they measured this recently. All the way along here, all the way up there. I saw them way back. I was like, what is all this stuff? But they're actually nailed in. Nailed to the ground right here. So I guess somebody measured this. And they're going to put in those signs eventually, the mile markers. But there's so many of them. They're so frequent. So actually somebody did something since the last time I was here. What does this one say on it? There's a plus 50. Let's see what this one says. Plus 25. $112 plus 0. Plus 75. I don't know enough about these kind of survey marks. I don't know what they're... What's this one say? Plus 50. Plus 25. Okay, see, it's 75, 50, 25. And it should be 0. Yeah, 111 plus... This one's 111 plus 0, I bet. Alright, so they're going down, starting probably back there. Okay, plus 75. It's plus 50. This would be plus 25, yep. And this should be 110 plus 0. Yep, that's right. So somebody mapped this out. Every 25 feet, I guess. So they can get an accurate measurement. They leave those in their ground. That'll probably take years before they finish it, though. At the rate they've been going. I've been coming on this path since 2023. And it wasn't until early 26 where they actually put down this crushed limestone. Last time I was here, that's right, there was a train that came through. I missed it. I wasn't up at the location real close to the tracks when the train came. I was up in here somewhere and the train was up there. I got some pictures, some alternate video of it. I actually went through this side path right in through here. I'm not going to do it now. It's too overgrown. Tick prone. Alright, here's one of those posts that normally you see the mile marker signs on. There's a post right there with nothing on it. That's been there for a long time. I always said that I think that's more, if that's 1/4 back there, I think this would be not really 1/2. 1/2 should be back there a little bit. Because right up here would be the 0.75, the 3/4 one. Well, now they got these official measurements. They would know exactly where to put the posts. There's the Coriopolis Road up there. And coming up on that bridge that goes to Neville Island. You see, if that post up there is 0.75, that's too close for that to be at 1/2. So they're going to have to move one of these. Move that one right back there back. Here's the train tracks. So here's that other sign post. So we're underneath the bridge that goes to Neville Island. Train tracks are right there, real close. That'd be great to see a train. That side, so what I'm trying to say is, what I've been saying for years is, if this whole section is only 0.8 miles, it goes just up there a little ways, this would have to be the 0.75 marker. And that other one would be too close to be the 1/2 marker. Too close to this one. So they're gonna have to move, they're gonna put the 3/4 here. They're gonna have to move that other post back. So there is some new movement here that somebody went in and marked these. They measured this. Exact measurements every 25 feet. So hang out here a little while, and you'll see a train. There's a lot of train traffic down here. I always like this section right here. They really did a good job building this. There's a rabbit. Hurry up and get a shot of it. Hey, rabbit. You rascally rabbit. You hear noise, but then you think it's a train, but meanwhile it's just cars going across that bridge, or trucks. Alright, so here's this street, and Montour Street goes up straight up that way. Here's the tracks. some noise. It almost sounded like a train, but it's just trucks going across the bridge from Neville Island. So there's the Montour Street up there. Here's me. Railroad tracks. And then there's the trail back that way. There's that Montour Street. So if this is 0.8, let's say the end of the Cory branch is 0.8 right here, right? So if we walk back, I'm at 2.05. So 0.05 from here is where we should see the 0.75 marker, or the post. We'll see if that one down here is at that distance, or maybe it's a little bit off. 2.07. Yeah, see, I think that, well, we'll see when we get here. .08. So you get the 2.1 for that marker. .09. .1. So 2.1 is right around here. So if that's 0.8, this should be 0.75 right here. The post is right up here. So it's pretty close. I mean, I don't know if they'd move it. So we're at 2.11, 2.12. So if this is where they thought it was, it's a little bit off. Close enough though. It's like 0.02 off. But anyway, this is 2.12 right here. If they're saying that's the 70.75 marker, this one post up here is way too close for it to be a half marker. I can see it from here, so it's way too close. And somebody left their Wendy's or McDonald's cup there. I hate when people do stuff like that. See, so here's this other post. This has no bearing to anything regarding these quarter-mile markers at all, because we've only gone 0.05 since that other post, and I got a post right here. On these branches, these extra branches, side branches like this, they only put them in at every 1/4 mile marker. So this is that post is way too close to the last one. I've been saying that for years. It needs to be way up here somewhere. Wow, there's like a cool yellow bird. I doubt if I could even see where it went. Up there somewhere. It flew into this tree. Oh, there it is. I don't know where that went. Okay, never mind. So we should go to 2.30 to be 0.25 away from that original post way at the back. For that's where they put in a new post or move that one post. How much you want to bet they won't get to it in 2026? That's 2027's problem. So here's an issue with a branch that's down. We've had some nasty storms. Well, that area over there is really wooded. I mean, the road's not too far away over there, but that looks kind of spooky in there. I wouldn't want to walk in that. Now, yesterday we had some pretty strong rain for a brief time. Where the heck are we at on mile? Okay, 2.2. So we're getting close. I hear people over there. There's that path that goes down, and there's a little basin. There's the water, and there's like a place you can go over to the tracks, kind of like down in a little valley and then back up the other side, and there's the tracks right there. I don't want to walk over there today though, because the brush is too thick, like right through there. I mean, I'm tempted to do it, but yeah, you know, they hype you with this tick business. I don't want to get any ticks. I don't need ticks at this time. You see these lame-ass Facebook videos people put on there, and he's put, like, someone's sitting there with all these, like, little things on it. It looks like they're saying they're ticks or whatever. They're not. They're just, it's like they put, like, gum drops or something on them. So where are we at? 2.2. I'm just looking at this mile marker thing. I want to see where 2.3 is. Yeah, I can hear people talking over there. Probably fishing. Alright, so here's 2.3. It was 2.12 at that other post. Doesn't have a sign up, but it should be 0.75 roughly. So the 0.5 should be right here, approximately. So that's 2.3. Now we see if the other one up here should be at 2.55. Oh, there's a train. Shoot. Damn. I missed that. I hear the train whistle. I'm not going to go back. See, if I'd have stayed there just another couple of minutes, I would be able to see that train up close. But I'm not going to run back to go see it now. I mean, I don't feel like doubling back. I mean, I've seen trains my whole life, but it's really cool to see them up close, though. doing some fuzzy math calculations today on the fly. The complicated 1/4 markers, measurements. They must be pretty sure about that one up here, the 1/4, because they got the sign on it and everything for the last 3 years. So I'm checking that, so it's like 2.4. When I get to 2.55 on this watch, that should be where that sign is. They put these orange ribbons down, nailed them in, but they're kind of like haphazardly put. Some are in the middle, some are close to the left side, some are close to this side. It's funny to see something like that and then they're nailed in. There's an old tire. There's another tire right there. What a mess. I think it was like right up in here, looking over to the right. Go back and look at my old video from early April. I seem to remember that I was like standing right over here. One thing, that trailer looks like it's moved. The last time I was here, that trailer, I don't know if that trailer was as close, but I think it was like right up in here. And I saw it right away. I didn't have to hunt for it. I just turned my head and I saw it immediately without all the brush. Unless somebody took it down, but well, whatever. I always like seeing that wall next to the water there. Right down there. Yeah, like it was over in there somewhere. See if I zoom in, do I see anything? I don't. I should pull up the other video now real quick to check, but I don't really feel like doing that. You know, I'm starting to wonder if that, because I'm looking at my thing, it's 2.52, and that thing's way far away. I'm thinking that maybe the 0.8 refers to just to where that bridge is down there. And that's the Cory branch, only to that bridge. If that's true, then that one marker would be 0.8, and then the next one would be 0.75, but I don't know. Some measurement is off, because if I count from the very end where the road is, I'm going to be reaching that pretty soon. Wouldn't it be something if they have to move that 1/4 marker? Well, it depends on where your starting point is. I'm at 2.55 right now. So I'm 1/4 of a mile from that other one. And that sign ain't here. It's up here a ways. I noticed that those orange ribbons are not up here. They're back in that direction. So we must be pretty confident about the measurements up here. Yeah, I see that Cory branch sign way the heck up there. Time for a little noise break. Yeah, a butterfly right there. Hi. Alright, so here's the C-1/4 marker. Look at this damn. Okay, 2.66. So, alright, so this is the C-1/4. Now, I never actually checked that compared to, mile 0 down to here. Is that 0.25 or what? But assuming that this is correct, C-1/4, 2.66 plus the other one, 2.15, so that's 0.6. So this is, both of those markers back there are wrong. Those posts, they need to move them. And the answer to the question is, does the 0.8 refer to the entire branch all the way to the street, We're just to that bridge.
Or like a rotary tool or something.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Alright, we're gonna cut through this parking lot. Try to wipe some of that dirt off the feet. There's another post with nothing on the sign, right? Nope. They should have more signage here. I'm sure they will. These things take years for them to get completely updated. A huge parking lot. I'm glad it's not full today. Well, today is Father's Day, so maybe there's not anything scheduled, games and such. I've seen it where this place is so swamped, there's cars all over the grass. So this is the complex, the sports complex, Coropus Road. It's getting a little more cloudy. They said it would start getting more cloudy in the afternoon. Tonight and tomorrow morning we're supposed to have some storms. There's the vehicle. So we are at 2.82, which is a decent walk. We are at the... I hear a train again. We're at the... What is this place called, actually? Sports Complex at Riverhound. Sports Complex, whatever. Alright. So we are signing off. 2.82 miles. Sunday, June 21st, the longest day of the year. Bye-bye.